And in the scripture, there's a place where the Pharisees, that's where you find out, where the Pharisees say that he's the son, like, who is this son of a carpenter? And I think it's important. And it wouldn't be in scripture if it wasn't important. And I think that it has to do with the saving of Cain. There's a lot of things about Christ which are a restoration of Cain. One of the things is the idea that Christ is the firstborn. That is extremely important because the Bible, you have this idea that the firstborn is the most important, but it never happens. It's always the secondborn. It's always the secondborn, not just the secondborn, or somewhere the smallest, or someone lower down the line. It's always Jacob. It's always Joseph. It's always David. It's always the little one. And so I think that, and it's Abel too. And I think that Christ is the firstborn. So because Christ is the firstborn, he takes upon himself the symbolism of Cain. And that is why Christ converts Rome, I think. And that's why Christ is a carpenter, a techne, a tecton, an artisan, someone who builds things, like the descendants of Cain built things, built the first cities and developed technology. And that's why also Christ is described as an agriculturalist. All these images of seed, all these images of the harvest, all of these images are all related to agriculture. And not only, so Christ is both a shepherd and a farmer. It's like, so he's Cain and Abel. Christ gives bread and wine, and he gives flesh and blood. So he gives both the sacrifice of Abel and the sacrifice of Cain. He gives both sacrifices at the same time. So he's actually uniting Cain and Abel together in a new Adam. And that's what Christ is. And so the idea that he's a carpenter, I think, has to do with this saving of Cain.